Hi, Sean here from Cloud9 Spain. Welcome to another episode of Developer Diaries, where we get the great and the good of the Marbella real estate market and see what they've got to say for themselves. With me today, I'm delighted to have Simon Boxus, who is the commercial director of Wilma, Blanca, who are the developers of a very well-known project, the View Marbella. Simon, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Good to have you along with us. So what sucked you back in? You're over on the dark side again. What happened?
Well, as I said, the real estate side is always calling you back. It's a passion. No? When you are passionate about properties and nice architecture, etc., you always call back. Wilma, Blanca, and I were always in contact. I was in the initial team to put this development on the market in 2018, and now with the launch of the new phases, we actually talked about my return on the team, and I was very happy to come back.
Yeah, I bet.
Dealing with mortgages was very interesting, related to properties, obviously, but it was a time that was coming to an end anyway for me, for my interest.
Yeah. So it was a natural
return.
Yeah, exactly. And returning to the same place. I mean, obviously, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes they always say never go back. But you're obviously very comfortable with the team there and the people who run that business.
It is. I mean, I was always in very good contact with them, but the first important thing is totally loving this product. The properties that are being built there and that have been built. One thing that I was very proud of was to go back to the View after it was built, the first phase, and actually see the real properties that were so faithful to the renders that we had been issuing of plan. And therefore being proud of having sold those properties to clients.
Yeah, because that's always the worry, isn't it? That you see, I mean, everybody can come up with amazing CGIs and renders, and you think, is it actually going to be like this? And then when you see it developed and ready after 18 months, 2 years, and you see that it's so faithful to the renders, totally. The original renders, it is lovely. It's great when you see that.
Yeah.
Tell me about the View.
The View is actually really looking at the first of, let's start from the beginning. The soul of the View Marbella is to actually take into account the active lifestyle, the sports, and the well-being. We wanted to actually provide a luxurious property, an alternative to a villa, with facilities that you would normally only get if you were buying in a 500-unit complex, for example. So therefore, to really look at something very exclusive, with a small amount of properties, but having a full collection of facilities.
Fantastic. And it's called The View because of
the View.
So in terms of location, I'm right in saying it's just above La Quinta Golf Resort, isn't it? And that's an area that's under quite a bit of development at the moment. There's a few different developers involved up there. I know there's one behind you that's going even further up towards the sky. But The View is the one that everybody knows. It's quite an emblematic looking project, isn't it? The architecture's quite modern. It's like a wave.
That's right.
Is that the best way to describe it? You can probably.
It is. I mean, the wave is coming from the architects to actually willing to actually embrace the apartments into the side of the mountain, and not just deliver something with the straight line like everybody has been doing. Yes, the area is very special. A balcony over the La Quinta Golf, and just below La Sagaleta. So we are looking at an area of exclusivity. Few developers around on the same sector, totally right. Fortunately, with the new phases of the View Marbella, it will be the last keys delivered on the sector. So the people buying in new phases will actually not have to cope with noise of constructions, etc.
Yeah. And it's great for access, isn't it, the View, because you've got Nueva Andalusia pretty much laid out in front of you. So Puerto Banús, I guess 10 minutes down the road. And then you've also got access to the Ronda Road there's cafes, bars, restaurants there, and also quick access to the toll road. So if you need to get to Malaga or Gibraltar or anywhere.
Even to the east of Marbella, if you actually take the toll road, you don't have the traffic of San Pedro.
I do that all the time. I do, particularly over the summer. I just forget about the coastal road and just take the toll all the time. I've got one of these, the bippy things. You just go through, and then you get the invoice at the end of the month, and that's when you think, oh my god. No, it's but yeah, in terms of the architecture as well. There's a round building, isn't there, within your first phase, which again is, I think, the only one on the Costa del Sol like that. It's almost like a tower, but each apartment takes one whole floor, doesn't it?
That's right.
Amazing.
It is a very iconic building. It was the desire of the company to actually create something very iconic, very unique. Yes, it is a round building with an atrium in the middle.
That's right.
With a garden. Why is nobody building it? Because it is actually very expensive to do. And there are a lot of technical complications.
But it looks great.
It looks great. Like,
looks great.
we had to design this block 3 times to actually make it work. And after that, you've got the problem that every single material you're actually ordering needs to be custom made. Cool. If you even look at the skirting boards, they are around it. So you cannot talk about price per square meter for that type of building. No. You are looking at the uniqueness.
Yeah. And it's priced accordingly, isn't it? I mean, the prices for that building, just remind me.
The ground floor is 2,950,000. The penthouse is 4.3 million.
Okay.
And
they're ready to go now, aren't they? They are ready to
go.
And in terms of availability elsewhere within phase 1, do you still have a few units left for immediate occupation?
We've got a couple of penthouses for direct occupation, 4-bedroom penthouses, private pool on the roof terrace.
I think I sold one of these way back I think in the first year of development, and I remember seeing the plans thinking, wow, this is like a villa.
It is, yes.
It's the size of a villa.
It's exactly, the aim is to actually offer an alternative to a villa. As a developer, we have been involved in quite a few villa developments in the exclusive areas of Marbella. And some of these owners have contacted us again, actually saying that they are fed up to actually maintain a villa. They don't use it all year long, etc. So the staff need it, the complications, etc. Yeah. And they were looking for something very special as a penthouse to be an alternative to a villa, and that is what we have created.
No, it's a great idea. You know, myself, I've moved into my house about 3 years ago, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But there are some days you just think, I just want to forget about it. You know, I just don't want to bother with the pool and the garden and so yeah, I can totally see the appeal, particularly when it's a second home. You know, and you know, if you're not there, like you said, if you're not there all year round supervising everything and all the staff that you need, then an apartment, a luxury apartment in a resort environment totally makes sense, doesn't it?
Exactly.
In terms of the facilities on site, so for phase 1, what have you got there that people can enjoy?
I mean, in phase 1, obviously we've got outside pool, but we have actually also included a semi-Olympic outside pool for people doing real exercise, because the free-form pools are not practical. No? Then we've got the health club, which has a fully equipped gym by Techno Gym, indoor semi-Olympic pool, and sauna, steam room, and jacuzzis. That is what is in phase 1. In phase 1, we have concentrated on indoor facilities. And now in the new phases, we actually extend that collection, concentrating on outdoor facilities.
So in terms of pricing on phase 1, we've got the tower, and in terms of the units that are left for key ready effectively, how much would they be?
For a 4-bedroom penthouse, we start at 2,290,000.
Okay.
Basically what we've got is the round tower, and we've got some penthouses. We actually kept some apartments to actually use as a show flat for the new phase, which we did not want to sell. They have been decorated by the services of Ambience in Marbella, and good. Since then people are asking us to buy them.
Of course.
So we actually offer a mini investor plan where the person can buy the apartment, but we will rent it out from them for 18 months while we are selling the new phases.
Okay, that's a good option, isn't it? Because everyone loves a show flat, don't they? They always want to come and buy something that's been done.
Exactly.
But sometimes they have to wait for it. Yeah. So tell me about the later phases then. So that's going to be the last area of this area to be finished off and consolidated. What can we expect from the later phases?
We are keeping the same architecture, same style of properties, with just a few properties that are special collections where we created some new floor plans. But the main thing is to actually extend the facilities, as I was saying. So the 2 phases will be connected, so people have got access to everything.
Oh, great. So you haven't just got your things, you actually...
Exactly. So what we have done there is in phase 1, we've got the outdoor and indoor chlorine pool. So we've put a saltwater pool in the new phase. We've got indoor jacuzzi in the first phase, outdoor jacuzzis in the new one. Yes. Outdoor gymnasium by Techno Gym, sort of arches with multifunction things you can do. So you can choose to train indoor or outdoor. Petanque course, apparently back in fashion, the famous French game. Kids adventure park, yoga and meditation garden with water features. And one thing that was important for us is, by knowing our owners in phase 1, by learning of their lifestyle, etc., most of them are company owners. that bought a second or third residence here in Spain with us. They actually come and operate the company from the View Marbella.
Okay.
They don't rent out the apartment, they then lock and go for a while. So we thought it would be a very good facility for them to give them a private conference center, private co-working sort of thing.
Great.
Okay. With hot desk, with meeting rooms, etc. And within that conference center, we're putting a sports lounge where you will have billiard room, ping pong, etc. And a giant screen with simulators to play golf or football.
Fantastic. That's great. Who's buying at the View? Is there a typical type of buyer, or is it all over the different types?
We've got our clients mainly are from Northern Europe and Central Europe lately.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've got like everybody, we've got the big percentage of Polish clients, Lithuanian clients arriving. On the historical, we have had a lot of Dutch, Belgian clients. That is also due to the Wilma part of the joint venture.
I was going to say they recognise the brand and
exactly.
Yeah.
But as I say, we are mainly European.
Many Brits or Americans?
Americans, so we've got a couple. British, not so many. I mean, as I say, Belgium, Holland, Germany, a bit of Scandinavians. That is mainly where our clients come from.
And is it what sort of age range? Is it grown-ups or is it people with families?
We are more or less looking into the 50s.
Right.
You know, we've got some younger clients, we've got some older clients, but more or less, if you look at the profile, we're looking the 50s. Company owners, Central, Northern Europe.
They're busy. They're making a lot of money and they need somewhere to enjoy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it. And I guess they're because of the money they're spending, they do have the option, don't they, of looking at villas and other apartments, and they choose the View because of the package in terms of all the facilities and what would you say is the key selling point?
A very frequent comments that we've got from our clients is that when they come home, let's say when they come to the View, they feel like in a very luxurious resort, a very luxurious hotel, okay, with all these facilities, etc.
And you have security as well.
And you have the security, 24-hour security, of course. The fact to be able to lock and go, as we were talking about, is very attractive to them, instead of all that maintenance of a villa, etc. And the uniqueness of having all of this in a boutique development, not having to go to a mega development with 500 neighbors. I think that we all talk about luxurious. I mean, if you look back at 30 years ago, luxurious was just having white marble and a pool outside. And then the luxurious has evolved. But to me, you can actually call yourself luxurious, have the best materials, the best architecture, etc. But to me, luxurious is not having 500 neighbors. To me, it's only to have a handful of neighbors and actually feel very an exclusive home.
No, I agree with that. Just to give people an idea of pricing in phase 2, what can people expect for the
We've got properties of 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms. The 2 bedrooms apartment, we are starting from 849.
Okay.
But a new thing that we have done in the new phases is that the ground floor apartment have a private garden with private swimming pool, even the 2 bedrooms. And there to have the private pool on 2 beds, we are looking at 999.
Okay.
Then on 3 bedrooms, we are starting at 1.3, 1.5 with private pool. And then we've got some penthouses, 3 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
The 3-bedroom penthouse is 2,250,000. And then we are going up with the 4 bedrooms. And we still have a couple of very unique penthouses of 4 bedrooms that are 290 square meter built, all together with terraces, 600 square meter.
Wow.
We still have a couple of them.
I was going to ask you about sizes. So if I wanted to buy a 2-bed apartment, maybe at the 800 and something thousand mark, what could I expect size-wise?
On the first floor, you would have 126 square meter build and a terrace of 40 square meter.
Yeah, the terraces are all big, aren't they, really?
Yeah.
They're all, that's one of the key selling points of your development is the terraces are a real feature.
Yeah.
Because you get some that it's almost like a token gesture, but these are part of the living space, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, if you look at the 3 bedrooms units, the smaller terrace we've got is 90 square meter.
Wow.
Which is an apartment on its own in Almadena, for example.
Yeah, exactly. That's incredible. Tell me about Wilma and Sierra, because the company's Wilma Sierra Blanca, isn't it? It's a bit of a joint venture between Wilma, which is a Dutch or Belgian.
It's based in Belgium with developments in Holland and Germany.
Okay.
They have been there for many years. joint venture with Blanca Global.
Yeah. And is this Wilma's first development in southern Spain?
In Spain, yes.
Okay.
In Spain, yes. They decided to bet on the Spanish side of the activities. First development with 3 phases, and then future developments to be announced.
Okay. We'll have to get you back when that happens. in terms of the market at the moment, I'm hearing different things from different people, agents, telling me one thing, developers are saying other things. Has the market been good for you this year so far? Have you noticed any waves of slowing down or speeding up?
I think that for people that have been here for many years, like yourself, like myself, we always had our season very marked throughout the calendar. And since COVID, this calendar has been up and down as unexpected trends. This year, for example, normally a very heavy season is Easter. Easter week, well, we had horrible weather.
We did, yeah.
But then 10 days after Easter, we were rushing out of our feet to actually serve clients. Then the summer is quieter, we know it, and then we expect September, October to be very busy. What we see at the moment is that we've got fewer clients visited, but a higher quality.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, same results, without having to rush everywhere.
Exactly. It's a win-win. Yeah, that's great.
But apart from that, I think the luxurious sector will always have its attractive. We will always have a more steady market in the middle or the lower markets, which is more suffering the trend of the economy, etc.
Yeah.
So we always have our clients that is always actively looking, etc. The only thing that we have got a very clear change is the attraction from Eastern Europe. That is really starting to be very, very marked.
And why do you think that is? Do you think it's a direct result of the conflict that's going on?
Totally.
So neighbouring countries are just getting a little bit
They want
nervous.
the capital out of that.
Yes.
And so you can actually see it with the clients and also the agencies opening doors now. Polish agencies are appearing every week.
Yeah. It's very, very, very interesting. We were talking to a developer earlier who was saying the same thing. I think the Poles were their second biggest market. And I was like, whoa, because I think we've sold to 1 or 2 Polish people this year. So it's nowhere near our top 4 nationalities, but I know it is for a lot of people. They're very dominant. So, and I've been to you before, if I wanted to bring a client to the View Marbella this afternoon in this lovely weather, what could I expect? What sort of service and what can I expect from a tour?
We would, first of all, we would show you obviously the facilities existing, explain the new additions of facilities from the new phases, show you the show apartments, and then go to our office, which is in a penthouse, to actually give you a good presentation of the new phases. Depending on what you're looking for, obviously, if you want a key-ready apartment, we would concentrate on what we've got left in phase 1. And then if you're looking for an off-plan property, then we actually give you a full explanation of the new product to be built. And if there is an interest, then we would actually go and step on the land to actually see the real views.
Great. Okay, fantastic. So what can we expect for the rest of the year? Anything happening that we need to know about? Any trends that you're seeing? Are we going to experience any differences coming up?
I think that we've got a very steady market at the moment. As I say, fewer clients, more quality. I cannot see at the moment a big change arriving. We are already thinking of next year more than anything else.
Yeah.
At the moment, we are, being already well into the heavy season, and with Christmas that is soon coming, where we know that we're going to have less clients, so we're already focusing on next year. I cannot see any big changes arriving. We see the new nationalities intending to buy, where they might have some difficulties with money transfers, etc. Whether that will actually be solved, yes or no, I don't know. We'll see.
It's interesting. We're talking to a lot of people in the UK at the moment who are a little bit nervous. The high net worth and ultra high net worth population in the UK is a little bit nervous about the new government that's come in recently, the Labour government, which is a fairly socialist government, who are supposedly going to be targeting the rich for a lot of tax. So we've actually had quite a few people inquiring about, get me out of here, get me out of the UK. And I went there a couple of times in the last month or so, and I think we might see a little bit of a flight of money. And of course, Spain is a natural bedfellow for a lot of Brits. So maybe we'll see a few more of the wealthy Brits coming to buy. But yeah, we've seen it's been quite a steady year. It's been a successful year, steady. I think like you say, when you have a product, when you have a development that's well managed, where you know you're going to get good service, then the agents and the clients are always going to be attracted to that. Do you do most of your sales through agents, or is it a mixture?
I mean, we do have some direct clients, and we also have repeating clients, people that were in phase one that decided to actually buy also in the new phases.
Fantastic.
But yes, most of our sales come through agents.
Yeah.
I mean, even by actually putting some advertising online, etc., and having contact with the direct clients, they still normally show up with an agency.
Yeah.
Because of the service of the touring of the properties and showing them more option. We've got one development to show them.
Yeah.
So for that client, it might be a bit of a restriction. So therefore, they will, of course, be in contact with an agency, and then they normally come with the agency.
Let's talk about Marbella, Benavis. The place is where we live. It's where we work. It's a fantastic place. We know that. Is the infrastructure managing to keep up with the pace of change? Because there's a lot of new buyers entering the market who are all going to want services. They're all going to want their little piece of Marbella. And obviously that comes at a cost, doesn't it? How do you feel? You've been here as pretty much as long as I have.
Totally.
Is it starting to eat itself up from the inside?
I mean, Marbella is growing and growing and growing. I mean, we know it. We are building all over the place, etc. As you say, more people buying, more tourism coming as well. Infrastructure. I think that infrastructure was a problem. That slowly it is actually becoming better. The news about the coastal train seemed to at least be moving.
Is that going to happen? Is that going to happen?
It was all over the news, 10 days ago,
Okay.
about the project that is now really in hands of the local governments and regional governments, which would be a fantastic news, and which would actually put a new value of properties in Marbella to actually finally have this train connection. Apart from that, well, I think that there will always be work to improve infrastructure.
Yeah.
With the volume of people that are visiting the place, there is work needed, but I think that we can get there.
Okay, interesting. And in terms of your development, obviously there's a lot of developments out there, different builders, different developers, different promoters. What should the average client look out for? Do you have any tips on what they should look out for when they're property hunting? Are there any red flags, that you would step back from and avoid if you saw?
It depends on what eye you put into it. Is it really something that you're going to enjoy, or is it something that is an investment? I mean, there is always an investment side of it, but I think that some people forget that side of it. No, I think that one thing that is important is to actually ensure that even though you are looking at a property for yourself and not thinking of the day you're going to resell it, you should always actually have that into account.
Yeah,
is my property resellable the day that I'm fed up with it, the day that I need to sell it? So to actually take something that would be attractive on the market for somebody else is something that is very important. On that basis, myself, I look at exclusiveness, something that has got something different, etc., instead of the same box in all the places. I think that is an important side. Of course, all the normal check and due diligencing, quality of build, quality of architecture,
Bank guarantee,
the bank guarantees, etc., licenses in place. Obviously, that is the normal checklist.
Yeah, very good. Simon, thank you for joining us. I'm really glad that you're back where you belong, and where you feel obviously very comfortable. And what you're doing is fantastic. Great work. We love coming to see your development. We love coming to see you. So thank you for joining us. Until next time, when you can update us on future plans.
Future plan.
Yeah, we'll keep you informed. Until then.
Thank you, Sean.